Finally, in today's RalphStack, it's a club. They have their own rules, they take care of each other and to the exclusion of all others. Coaching candidates from outside North America don't have a chance to be NHL head coaches. These guys don't even look at them, these GMs. It's straight out unfair hiring practices, and it's time for it to end. In simple terms, it's bullshit the way these guys operate. I've asked a GM or two over the years about guys they hired as a scout or an advisor, and their responses are always quite the same. When I'm out of work, one of them will hire me. Stan Bowman and Joel Quenneville, both long-standing members of this old boys network, reportedly stood by after getting information that one of their Chicago Blackhawks coaches molested one of their young players during the 2010 Stanley Cup run. The NHL called what both did an inadequate response. There was a huge settlement with the player and heavy sanctions for the organization. The two were suspended by the NHL, but hired in a flash once they were let back in. Old North American white dudes taking care of each other. Quenneville's deal is reportedly worth $20 million. In what other line of work could you have that on your record and waltz back in like this? There are no more coaching vacancies now that Dallas has hired Canadian-born Glenn Gulletson. Roughly 1/3 of the players in the NHL are from outside North America, and there is one head coach from outside the continent. Boston just hired Marco Sturm from Germany. 31 of the 32 GMs are also from North America. Vancouver's Patrick Alvin from Sweden is the lone exception. Both of these are anecdotal. That's 62 of 64 GMs and head coaches from North America. That's how power is held and kept. There's no chance for advancement in the coaching ranks or the big GM jobs for players who aren't from the United States or Canada. There's no chance for others' ideas and schemes from foreign leagues to take hold, and this is quite intentional. Some people bristle at the notion and political ramifications of implementing fairer hiring practices. Certainly, DEI and all it implies is not without its major issues, overreach, and abuses. I'm not arguing with any of that. Also, the Rooney Rule is not without its big problems and detractors. All true. But the reason you do it, the reason you implement fairer hiring practices that open things up for qualified candidates is you have to do it. Because old white guys won't hire or even interview anyone but other old white guys and members of the club without someone holding a gun to their heads. Some of the reasons they give for not looking that way are laughable and sad. In the most misogynistic league in North America, my money is on a woman getting a head coaching job ahead of a Russian. But both should be at least possible for qualified candidates. Right now, I think they'd all settle for the chance to be considered and interviewed. Dallas Stars GM Jim Nill was asked point blank if, since his roster was close to 50% non-North American, would he consider looking that way? His response? They have to know what they're doing. Like, where's the dressing room at in these buildings? How do you open the door to an arena? He continued, players are watching this too, like, does this guy know what he's doing? Wow. I wish I could say I'm surprised the media didn't jump on this and him, but I'm not. I've said before, it would be really cool to bring the NHL into the 21st century. The trouble is, we have to drag them out of the 19th century first. Here's how we might try. No rule is perfect, and certainly the NFL's Rooney Rule is not without some real issues, especially the further along it's gone. I know this. Nobody has to tell me this rule has problems, but the concept should be one we can all get behind. Qualified people should get a chance to interview for the jobs they're qualified to have, right? Also, it's good business to hire people who can speak the same language or have the same background as your most highly compensated assets. Yeah? If you're Jim Nill and you just signed Mikko Rantanen into a $96 million deal and you have a roster loaded with Finns, you don't want to look at a coach from Finland because he might not know where the door to an arena he's never been to is? Damn, that's weak. I have no idea if Nill looked at candidates outside North America. I know he's 6 for 6 as the Dallas Stars GM, only hiring coaches born in Canada. Like John Locke, I find a person's actions the best interpreters of their thoughts. I know he didn't give Sergei Zubov a chance to interview for the job. I know they know Zubov would have been interested in the chance to interview. This would have been a great gesture by the Stars to bring the former KHL head coach, NHL Hall of Fame defenseman, two-time Stanley Cup champion, whose number hangs inside the American Airlines Center, in for an interview. It would have been good practice for one of their own to go through the process. And who knows, maybe Zubov would have impressed. It's not like they just hired Toe Blake. Sorry, golly. If Zubov was from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, count on it. They would have at least looked his way. The NFL established the Rooney Rule in 2003 after historically low minority representation in the coaching ranks. The rule was expanded to include women and broadened to offer opportunities beyond just the head coach. It's designed to open the interview process to a broader range of candidates and has resulted in the hiring of some really good coaches, coordinators, assistants, and support staff. It's been tuned and tweaked and fought over and dismissed as unfair and all of those things, but they had to do it. The NFL had the same problem the NHL continues to have now. The system wasn't fair and open. It was closed. It was closed to only friends and family, regardless. Let's take it this way. There's two players in the NHL, okay? One is from Canada, the other is from the Russian Federation. Both have identical stats. Both retire on the same day and express an interest in coaching or one day becoming an NHL GM. Only one has a path. That's not right. Under the current system, this is true. This is the business. North America first. It's why players from Canada get to the Hall generally way faster than their non-North American counterparts. Is that right? Is it fair? Should we keep doing this? This is the ugly stain on the league. This is the dirty little secret. Our barriers are yet unbroken. GMs at the least passively collude to keep qualified candidates away from becoming head coaches. I don't know how much clearer the evidence needs to be. They're afraid. They're afraid of losing control of the game the way they see it. As long as there's only, or 95% or higher, old white North American coaches, GMs, and other support staff, they don't have to learn new things and open the game up to maybe some better ideas. They don't risk not being hired. And there's no way they'll get religion on their own, these guys. The NHL has to step in here. This has to be generated from the very top, the commissioner's office or a bright and fair-minded owner. Dan Rooney, the late and former Pittsburgh Steelers owner, was a man of vision, a respected man who helped advance common interests of the world's most successful professional sports league. The PA got behind this as well, as their membership was largely made up of black players. They pushed, they made inroads, and the league benefited. What about the NHL? The NHLPA is unlikely to lead this. There's only one member team union rep from the Russian Federation and one from Switzerland. That's it. 30 of the 32 player reps are from North America. Ain't that a shock? None of the numbers add up here, like at all. And it's why it's so tough to make any inroads. What about Commissioner Gary Bettman? It's tough taking these guys on even for simple things, and this ain't a simple thing. He's got big doings with trying to expand his way out of financial trouble, resulting from the disappearing RSN model and rights fees and declining U.S. TV ratings. How much juice does he want to spend here in his final years on this? And since I'm the only person who's calling the league out, there's no pressure to do anything. And on we go. Joel Quenneville and Stan Bowman will keep getting jobs and fat checks ad infinitum. No, this one might have to come from an owner, like Dan Rooney in the NFL. Someone with vision. Someone who sees the shame and embarrassment in hiring guys like Quenneville and Bowman in a blink and not even looking in the direction of other qualified candidates who did not get suspended for conduct detrimental. Maybe it's an owner with a roster loaded with foreign players. Someone who thinks there's advantages to hiring coaches who speak the language of their best and highest paid assets. Someone familiar with new and different tactics. Coaches who might change the very fabric of the game for the better because they have an opportunity to do it. Because left to their own devices, nothing will change. And that means no head coaching or GM opportunities for 1/3 of the NHL member players. To my friends in the media, maybe start asking some real questions here. Dig. Push. When Jim Nill says something completely ridiculous and in fact derogatory toward an entire group of people who aren't from North America, don't let him get away with it. Call him out. And my friends in the media, think about these guys. Guys you like. Guys you have relationships with. Guys like Miro, Rope, Mikhail, Mikko, Oscar, Evgeny, Leon, Essa, Nils, and Ilya. Under the current system, Jim Nill wouldn't hire any of them as a head coach after they're done playing. He probably wouldn't even interview them. They're not going to be in the mix as potential future GMs. Fuck these guys, is the message from all current NHL general managers. But for guys like Jamie, Tyler, Jason, Wyatt, Maverick, Matt, Sam, Cody, Tommy, Thomas, Casey, or Jake, the door is wide open. Come on in if you want. You're one of us. You can be in the club. We'll take care of you. Somebody's got to tell me how that's okay. That's our show for today. Thanks to our guests as always. Thanks to Kelly Ortiz, my awesome assistant. And thank you for watching. Hey, subscribe to my YouTube page here, will you? Tell your friends. This is damn fine content, and more people should see it. We'll be back next week. I'm Ralph Strangis. We'll see you on the next RalphCast podcast, a TV show. Right.